Hi, been Jeff Halland here, and I get another video here in my kind of series on AI ethics. And it was interesting. I was in a chat yesterday, a chat session, kind of a voice chat session on LinkedIn about Chat GPT, was by OpenAI, and and a lot of people that are just kind of regular business users in all kinds of industries that are just kind of interested in the whole thing of this Chat GPT thing, or how could they use it for creating content. Really interesting because these are not development geeks at all, software development geeks, not about language technology or anything. They're just folks that just want to use software, right? Business users. And they were talking about, and I mentioned, now there's a page that's been published by Omniscient. They used to be called Asia Online. It's now Omniscient. And OMNISCIEN, Omniscient Technologies. And so their website's omniscient.com, right? And they have, Dean's made a post on the hype cycle for all AI technologies in business. I think he posted it yesterday. Yeah. So hype cycle for all AI technologies in business. And it's funny because I was on this chat yesterday on LinkedIn. It was Shani Moria that had it, and I brought up the idea of the hype cycle for AI technologies that had just come out, right? And it was funny to see how I talked about the hype cycle, right? And how we look back, we can see that this is nothing new. The hype cycles, these come out in all these kind of reports by Forrester and Gardner and Allied and whatever, all these basically research or analyst organizations that analyze the industries and they do reports on them and kind of talk about the different quadrants and all this stuff. And they talk about the future. They talk about the current situation and where things are going, predictions for the future. And the idea of a hype cycle is looking at how things will go in a cycle, right? And predicting how long it will take for some of these technologies to actually become realized. And sometimes there are sets of time. It can be, 1 to 2 years, up to 5 years, 10 years, 50 years, not in our lifetime, kind of thing, or never. And it was funny to hear the people coming back on the chat and saying, well, no, this isn't hype. And I think that's really important to distinguish between a hype cycle and hype, saying something is hype. Because saying something is hype means that it's kind of a fake thing, right? That it's just creating a lot of buzz for the sake of creating the buzz, right? And that it's not real. There's not a real thing. Whereas the hype cycle is a different thing. And it's really understand that. And I think a lot of people misinterpret that. So that's why I'm making this video, to say don't misinterpret it, right? The hype cycle is talking about it's getting visibility. And whether or not it will actually achieve a state of being realized, actually being published or being released or not, that's all prediction. At least when you're looking for a hype cycle from looking forward, right? And there will always be prototypes and things to get to a certain point, but will it be productive or not? Actually, for being efficient, that's a whole nother question. You can always create prototypes. I've created lots of prototypes that got to a certain point, but we never got them to put them into production because of funding or whatever. It didn't mean that we never got there. We never did it. It was along a wave, or sometimes we can talk along the wake, right? The water skiing wake, right? You got to take that wake and the moment that's there, and then you're on the wave, right? Got to ride that wave, kind of surfboarding or water skiing, right? You want to be on top of the wave, or you want to be along it so you can go with it, right? And hype cycle does not equal hype. It just means that it's getting visibility, right? And I think that really important for people to understand the difference between the two. And I think if I recall, I think Dion in his slide he made that clarify some things here. So please understand the difference between hype cycle and hype. Okay, hype can have a negative connotation, and hype cycle just means mainly visibility. It means that attention, right? And it will be completed. It will be. There will be things that will be completed. Just they may not be as getting into a full usability thing, right? Or actually being implemented or having, and being released or whatever. So these are different things. And I think it's really important to say that as we talk about whether or not they'll lead anywhere, understand the difference between the two. And I think that helps at least have there in the discussions, right? Debates and discussions, dialogue about this. So I think that's kind of a key thing.